Hey guys, how's it going? TRX Traveller Adam here. Today we're going through workout 1A. It is the leg day. So it's quads, glutes, hamstrings and calves. And this is for the TRX Push Legs Pull Ultimate Physique Builder. Link to it is just below if you want to check it out, if you haven't already got it. Let's get to it. Okay, now you'll notice on the leg days I suggest a 5-minute calf workout. Keep it really simple. What I suggest you do is, I just do this. If you can, get a block or something to stand on so it allows you to stretch at the bottom of your calves, that would be great. If not, you can just do them like this. Use the TRX for balance and you're going to lean back a little bit, and it's just 5 minutes non-stop of 1 second up, squeeze for 1, 2, 3, 4, then down for 1, 2, 3, 4, explode up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and down for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now my feet are never touching the ground, my heels, sorry, are never touching the ground. I'm constantly keeping a tension on the calf muscles, constant tension. They're a very, very resilient muscle, so we really want to try and burn them, and we really want to get, when you're at the top here, squeeze as hard as you can for 4 seconds and slowly down, but I'm not releasing the tension. And I'm squeezing super hard again to explode back up, and I'm not releasing. So never let them rest, never let them rest. And constantly keep doing that. 1 second up, 4 seconds down. 1 second up, 4 second hard contraction at the top, 4 seconds down. Rock that for 5 minutes. I guarantee you will feel a burn, and it will develop if you keep doing that. So that alternates between the abs and the calves. So our first exercise for this is a hamstring curls. I've done a few videos on these, and these are great. Get the TRX nice and low. You've got a drop sit on these. Key intention is, I really like to really stretch my leg out at the bottom and then explode pull up. Focus on not trying to pull your knee to your head, but just focus on contracting your hamstring so it brings your leg back. If you focus on that, you'll feel it so much more than just pulling. Don't try and pull. Focus on squeezing that hamstring so it contracts back, and contracts super hard. You'll feel your glute come into play a little bit as you do it when you're lying down, but really focus on contracting hard. So get your heels in the hoop and the strap. Just make sure your feet are nicely lined up, so I like to push them together just a little bit. Come back a little bit. The straps are about 6 inches off the floor here. Bum off the ground. Contract, squeeze, and down for 1, 2. Contract, squeeze, down for 1, 2. Contract hard, squeeze, and down for 1, 2. Now as I'm doing that, you can see I'm really squeezing as hard as possible at this stage to really get as much blood and damage down, and then slowly out. So that's it. It's a very simple exercise, very effective though, and actually a lot harder than what they look. So once you've done your final third set on those, you're going straight into the drop set for another 3 sets. So finish your final third set, no rest, maybe quick 2 breaths, go again. That's your first set of the drop set. Quick breath, no rest, go again. Quick breath, and your final drop set. Remember, these drop sets are crucial. We're building up to them, and you've really got to put all your effort into them, because this is where it really sort of breaks down the muscle. This is what we build up to. And of course, once you're done, nice stretch for 15 seconds. Okay, second exercise is TRX Straight Leg Extension. These are great. They don't look like much, and when you're doing them, they don't feel like much. But because we're doing them straight after the hamstring curls, they're going to give such a good stretch to the hamstrings, and they're going to really help push a lot of blood there and help break them down even more. So it's all about the hinge on these. So just get a comfortable strap position, mid-length I'd say. And we're going for the rep range sets, 40-second rest in between, as always 40-second rest. And what you're going to do is get comfortable and take a little step in, a little step just from vertical. The idea, feet is just in on shoulder width, so not shoulder width, but just a little bit further in. The idea is you want to stretch, so it's kind of like you're touching your toes, but instead we're hinging back like this. I'm just going to spread my feet a little bit wider there. We're going to hinge back until you can feel that stretch right down your hamstrings. And you want to, as you do that, you don't want to sort of go like this as you're bending over. You want to hinge your hips forward. So chest out, shoulders back, hinge backwards, that's it. And I can feel a stretch there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push up and explode. And when I do that, I'm squeezing my glutes as hard as I can and my hamstrings. So I'm going to hinge back again, feel that stretch, and 2. Hinge back for 1, 2, explode and squeeze. 1, 2, explode and squeeze. And I really want you to really stretch down and feel a stretch in the hamstrings before you then explode back up and down for 1, 2. There's the stretch. And push and down for 1, 2, and push. Really focus on contracting hard. Really focus on squeezing your glutes as hard as you can and your hamstrings. It might feel a little bit funny at first, but the more mind to muscle connection you get, the much better squeeze you can get in both the glutes and the hamstrings there. They're a great exercise. When you're doing them, you're maybe not going to feel it too much. You're going to be thinking, well, all I can feel is a bit of a stretch and then just a squeeze. Trust me, the next day you will feel it. These are so good for causing damage to the muscles, especially after the hamstring curls. So you're lucky, there's no drop set on them. Next exercise is the one leg pistol squat. Again, so I see so many people doing squats and TRX squats just wrong. They just drop. The key is never to just drop or move. The key is to contract the muscle as hard as we can that causes the movement. So on a one leg pistol squat, don't just drop down like this, okay? Pull yourself down. And what I mean by pull yourself down is I want you to contract your hamstrings and your glutes, and that will pull you down. So I'm really squeezing my hamstrings and glutes here. It's as if I've got a big ball between my bum and my heels, and I'm trying to crush the big ball, the big inflatable ball, as hard as I can. Same principle for these. On one leg, I want you to focus on pulling yourself down, right down, stop, and then I want to squeeze my quad as hard as I can to come up. And as I come up there, as I'm coming up, I'm squeezing my quad, and at the top, I'm putting all the effort in as much contraction and squeezing on that quad as possible, as much as I can before I then go back down. So it looks like this. So go down for 1, 2, right down, and squeeze up, and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, and squeeze up, and down for 1, 2, and squeeze up. Keep that rhythm going. Keep squeezing as hard as you can in the quads, as hard as you can in the glutes to pull yourself down. Follow the rep ranges on there. Again, 40-second rest. What I advise you to do is, because you want to stretch after each exercise, I advise you to stretch your quads like this, and I'd also then advise you to stretch your hamstrings and touch your toes. By now, you're going to be really feeling the burn in hamstrings from 3 exercises that have incorporated them. Next exercise, one leg reverse lunge. Again, a simple exercise and premise, just make sure the intention's right. The intention is always to put effort on the quad. So when I go down like this, I want to take a nice lunge back, and I like to put my foot like this indoors because it stops me from pushing myself up like that, because that's not what we want. We want to stretch right back so we can really get a nice stretch in the quad here, and then we want to push through the heel to come back up, and back up to step position. So it's down for 1, 2, up and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, up and squeeze, and down for 1, 2, up and squeeze. And on the other leg, exactly the same. You're contracting. Even though these are reverse lunges, I'm still contracting my quad and my glute to pull myself down. Still thinking about that intention. So it's squeeze down for 1, 2, up, down for 1, 2, and up. One leg. So You're doing the rep range on one leg, you're going to the rep range on the other leg. Now we go into TRX Wide Squat, which is the next exercise, and it's supersetted with TRX Narrow Squats. So the wide squats, I want us to put emphasis on the glutes. The narrow squats, emphasis on the quads. Both squats, we pull down, okay? And on the narrow squats, we've got the final drop set. So it's building up to that. So, a wide squat, feet nice and wide, toes pointing out, maybe 15° off straight. Think I want to pull myself down with my hamstrings and quads. So pull yourself down and stick your bum right back, pull yourself down, and then my intention is to come up not by squeezing my quads, but by squeezing my glutes. So I'm pulling down with my hamstrings and glutes, and then I'm squeezing my glutes to come back up. And at the top I'm thrusting forward, because I'm really wanting to emphasize that squeeze. And then I'm going back down for 1, 2, and I'm squeezing up. So with the TRX, it looks like this. Squeezing down for 1, 2, and up, and down for 1, 2, and up. Remember, pull yourself down, squeeze the glutes as hard as possible. We're not focusing on the quads at this point, that's going to be the narrow ones. So pull yourself down for 1, 2, squeeze. And at the top here, I'm squeezing the hamstring, squeezing my glutes as hard as possible to then drop back down. So it'll be 1, 2, and squeeze up. Now, switch the intention now, because we're going straight. Once you've done that, then you've done your rep range in that set. Bring your feet close together, shoulder width apart, toes slightly out. And now, same principle, pull your hamstrings and glutes right down, and I want you to go right down here, right down, and then squeeze the quads and push up, down for 1, and you'll notice I'm leaning back a bit. It's so as I push up on both the wide and narrow, I can push back a bit, so it puts more emphasis on my legs, and I'm not off balanced. So squeeze the hams, squeeze the quads, and explode up and squeeze the quads. Sorry, I'll say that again. So squeeze the hams, squeeze the glutes, pull yourself right down, and push up for 1, and down. So as I'm coming up there, I'm pulling myself down, and as I come up, I'm thinking, right, I now want to engage the quads to drive up. I don't just want to push up. So as I'm squeezing down, I think, right, quads, engage, squeeze the quads, and I'm squeezing them as hard as I can, hard as I physically can at the top here, and back down, bum out, and I'm back up, and I'm squeezing as hard as I can, and back down. Whew. Catch my breath. Superset those two, and once you've done your final set on the narrow squats, take a breath, straight into the drop set where you give it your all. Let's try and at least get to 6 reps. If you can, up to 8, up to 10. Really give it your all, but keep form. I don't want to see any of just this. Yeah, we're not just dropping. Every movement we do it by contracting a muscle violently, as hard as possible. We don't just move, we contract hard, and that causes the movement. So at the end of that narrow squat, straight into it, straight into your drop set, and push it hard. Yeah, really go for it. Squeeze. Okay, the next video to follow on from this is workout 1C, and that is the pull day. So that's the biceps and back. My favourite day. Legs are a killer, but I love back and biceps. I hope this helpful. If you want to know anything else, just leave some comments below, and I'll get straight back to you. As I say, the link for this program is just below if you want to check it out. Thanks for watching.